day, Spirit, thank you for this day, this healing, this healing, this healing day, this healing, this healing, this healing day, beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Rhythm section.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he wrote, "It should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in accord with divine law and wisdom." And that's why we honor and celebrate Pride this month. For much of history, and still today in many places, LGBTQ plus individuals have faced discrimination, criminalization, and invisibility. And pride is a way of saying, you matter. Your life and love are worthy of dignity, safety, and celebration. Pride Month helps balance a history of exclusion by welcoming everyone to join in affirming those who have been marginalized. Put simply, it's about extending recognition where it's been missing. So thank you to all our volunteers and guests who visited us at our Pride booth yesterday in Courthouse Square, and happy Pride to you all. And whether you're in the room with us or you're on YouTube today, you are welcome here where we aspire to embrace life by honoring equity, diversity, and inclusion. I invite you now to join me in speaking out loud our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we're helping create a world that works for everyone. Great job. And to help create that world, we have 5 spiritual practices that we use here at the center. And would you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. This morning, we've got a very special flower dedication here, and it comes from our AIDS Life Cycle team. And they say, this morning at 6:30, the Center for Spiritual Living AIDS Life Cycle team started their 565-mile ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles. But they're not done. We are all so appreciative of the financial support and outpouring of love that we have received. Blessings and love to all. Now, 2025 marks the last year for the AIDS Life Cycle event, which, if you didn't know, it raises money and support for treatment of AIDS and HIV. And I invite you to just join me in honoring our team with a round of applause. They've been doing this for, I think, 11 years now. This is a momentous occasion to honor what probably is going to be the last time that they do this ride. So please join me in a round of applause for them. So thank you, AIDS Life Cycle team. I am knowing a wonderful journey for you. All right. Now, we would also like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If it's your first time here, would you please stand as you are able or raise your hand and keep your hand up and remain standing. We'd love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for you joining us today. And if you're watching us online for the first time, let us know in the chat. We would love to hear from you. I know that somewhere in the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today, you will find something that you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you are very welcome here. Now, sit back and relax and enjoy some music before a short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. I love hearing you sing this back. Let's try just you this time. Here we go. Living. Beautiful. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the this rich, abundant living every single day, and I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
Leaning into this oneness, this wholeness, the all in the allness, God, Spirit, Buddha, whatever we may name it, it is all the same. It is that water that is in the ocean, in the rivers and the creeks. And I am but a droplet of that water, immersed in that oneness, that allness. And just as this is true for me, it is true for each and every one in this sanctuary and those watching on YouTube. For each is that droplet, each is an expression of that divine source. And so I accept this morning for each of us that we know that we show our true colors, whatever they may be, that each is accepted and honored and respected for who they are, what they believe in. For we are all connected into that oneness of life. We are all a part of one another, of life itself. I give great thanks for the gifts of the divine, for this time together, for this prayer, for the music, for the message, for the camaraderie that is shared among each and every one of us, and for those that are riding to LA. I celebrate with joy and peace and harmony in my heart for the abundance that is ever present. I release this word into that infinite mind of the divine, knowing that it is already done. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. My name is Lorena Fisher. I'm a prayer practitioner here at the center. Won't you please join me in today's affirmation? I fully embrace the spectrum of human experience, and so it is.
I know some of you are old enough to know this song, so do sing along. Well, if you wanna sing out, sing out. And if you wanna be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you wanna live high, live high. And if you wanna live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. You can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. It's easy. You need to know. Well, if you wanna say yes, say yes. And if you wanna say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. And if you wanna be me, be me. And if you wanna be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are. You can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you wanna sing out, sing out. And if you wanna be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are, 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 you know that there are.
Thank you so much, Christopher, Brett, and Nick. Thank you so much. And good morning to you. Would you help me be part of the welcoming committee and turn around and just wave at somebody and welcome them to your spiritual center? I really love the quote that Reverend Russ shared with us this morning from Ernest Holmes. It should be considered right to live and to enjoy living. To be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in harmony with the divine. It sets us up very well for this new month's focus, the radiant expressions of life. And this month, what we're going to be exploring is the spirituality of 5 things: joy, second week, connection, third week, courage, fourth week, living radiantly, and the fifth week, how we can leave a legacy in life through the way that we express our love. So today we begin with the spectrum of joy. So let's look at the spiritual traditions of the world. Joy is often recognized as something spiritual in these traditions. Like in Judaism, it affirms that joy arises in the presence of the divine. Like in Psalm 16, it says, "In your presence there is fullness of joy." Similarly, in Christianity, in Galatians, there's talk about joy being among the fruits of the Spirit, a natural outgrowth of living a spiritual life. In Hinduism's Upanishads, it declares that joy is what we are, actually. It says, "From joy we have come, in joy we live and have our being, and into sacred joy we shall one day melt again. Love that. And in Islam, joy is recognized not as a goal, but as a natural result of living in harmony with the will of the divine. And then in Buddhism, there is this expression of empathetic joy. It's described as one of the 4 immeasurables. It's a quality of mind that delights in the happiness of others, even if you and I didn't have anything to do with causing that joy. Oh, we're going to talk more about that next month. And then bringing us to our own science of mind, our founder talked about joy as the inner evidence that we are living in harmony with the creative power of life. Okay, so together these perspectives really do present joy as something spiritual. And it feels important to reconnect with joy as something sacred right now because of the heaviness that so many of us feel as we consider the weight of world events. And for some, it might feel counterintuitive or even inappropriate to be talking about joy right now. And it might even come across as a denial of suffering and pain. Yet there is a side to joy that we are considering today. We're talking about joy as a resource for surviving and navigating tough times. Joy as a tool that can help restore our sense of humanity and connection with one another when the world feels particularly rough. And it is true that science affirms for us, research affirms that joy isn't really a frivolous thing. It's essential to our well-being. Psychologist Dr. Paul McGee, he's a pioneer in humor research. He found that humor strengthens our resilience, makes us stronger, and it helps people cope with stress, and it helps people recover from adversities. And his studies suggest that laughter has the ability to interrupt those cycles of anxiety that we can get into, and also that it contributes to long-term psychological well-being. Now, he wrote a book. The title is delightful: Health, Healing, and the Amuse System. Isn't that great? And it outlines how humor supports both physical and emotional well-being. Now, in the book, he talks about how we, ordinary, regular people, can strengthen our sense of joy by doing a couple of things. By practicing playfulness, embracing a more lighthearted approach to life. Number 2, by looking around and finding humor in everyday life, recognizing it, appreciating it, and enjoying it for what it is. And then 3rd, by learning to laugh at ourselves, developing self-directed humor to help strengthen our resilience. And then finally, by applying humor in situations where we might not expect to find it, applying humor as a coping mechanism for stressful situations. Studies of people who are displaced by war and disaster, including refugees and Holocaust survivors, show that humor has and can play a very strong role in survival and resilience and well-being. Now, humor doesn't erase trauma, but it can affirm dignity. It can help preserve a sense of identity. And it can, as we heard, provide momentary relief in the middle of suffering. Viktor Frankl wrote about this. You know, he was the Holocaust survivor, also a neurologist who wrote Man's Search for Meaning. And he wrote about how the prisoners in the concentration camp, they would maintain their sense of self and their sense of dignity by doing these things like making art in secret and getting books that had been smuggled and reading them secretly, and most importantly, by developing a sense of humor, even a kind of dark humor. He wrote, "Humor was another of the soul's weapons in the fight for self-preservation. It is well known that humor, more than anything else in the human makeup, can afford an aloofness and an ability to rise above any situation, even if only for a few seconds." And he described moments in the concentration camp where prisoners would share jokes with each other to help keep their souls from being extinguished in these intense, inhumane moments of suffering and terrible conditions. And he writes in his book about the freedom to choose one's attitude. He calls it a spiritual freedom that cannot be taken away. And it's a freedom that can help make life meaningful and purposeful. He himself encouraged people in the prison with him to practice their sense of humor. And one of the methods they used was to make up ridiculous stories about life after camp, even though they didn't know if they would survive. They made up ridiculous scenarios and shared it with one another. Dr. Lee Burke, a researcher at Loma Linda University, has found that humor and laughter can do this for us, lift us up, and it also reduces stress hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline, and it also improves our immune system. Makes me think of the phrase in the Bible, "A merry heart does good like a medicine." And apparently these researchers are showing that's accurate. It's good for us. So I've taken this information about the research and Viktor Frankl's writing, I've taken it to heart, and I've been making a practice of looking for and enjoying the ridiculous things in life, which turns out is not that difficult, right? Just look around. Whatever made this creation must have had a delightful sense of the ridiculous. Yeah. Consider giraffes, duck-billed platypus, moose, hiccups, the ostrich, or the fact that the plural of moose is moose, but the plural of goose is geese, and the plural of juice is juices. Or think closer to home how delightfully ridiculous humans can be. Like pushing the elevator button several times. Or like setting several alarms 5 minutes apart and then pressing snooze on every one of them, like I did this morning. I understand someone once said, and it has been attributed to Voltaire, but I can't find if that's true. It says, "I have only made but one prayer to God, a very short one. O Lord, make my enemies ridiculous." And God granted it. Now, speaking of spiritual joy, though, it doesn't always come through laughter or only through humor. Sometimes it comes in its gentle, grounded, present way. I'm thinking again of Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. You know, he had that way about him that caused joy without trying to be funny, you know. He was asked to donate a sweater to the Smithsonian, and he agreed and said in his level way, "It's just a sweater. My mother made it for me." But that's what people loved about him. He brought joy, not by being overtly funny, but by being present, gentle, sincere. And he has been attributed as saying, people long to know that who they are is enough. And when they feel that, joy is present. That's beautiful. I was thinking about the simple, gentle ways of joy, and I was watching a video of a man who had recently come out of anesthesia, and he was still a bit groggy, and his wife picked him up and had him in the car and was video recording him. And she asked him if he was hungry. And still slightly disoriented, he says, "I don't know." And she says, "Well, are you tired? And you want to go home?" And he says, "Do you know where I live?" And she says, "Yes, I do. I'm your smoking hot wife." And he looks and he says, "You married me? Thank you for marrying me." And she said, "Yes, I did." And he says, "You are so pretty." And, you know, I could watch that video over and over again, and it reminded me to not take myself too seriously, because doing so just squeezes the life out, squeezes the joy out. And I know for me, when I lighten up, something softens and the world changes. Tension releases, my perspective opens up. And in that way, humor and lightness can be a bridge back to the center of joy. So I'm thinking about a new spiritual practice. Lighten up. Yeah. And truly, spiritual maturity includes knowing when to be reverent and when to be lighthearted, right? Because appropriate joy and lightness and laughter, they don't diminish reverence or holiness, they deepen it. It can be wonderful to take a lighthearted look at ourselves, you know. I was remembering many years ago at one of the very first memorials I ever officiated at. I was very nervous. You know, I'd not really done it before, and it was for a family I didn't know at a funeral home. And when it was my turn to get up to address the congregation, I accidentally kicked a vase over right in the front, and I stooped to catch it as it was falling, but I missed it, and then it fell onto the second vase, and there was a cascade of vases and water and flowers all over the floor. And then a voice in the congregation started to giggle. And the room broke into laughter. And there was such a release of tension, and somehow that laughter made room for the grief to be okay. It was such a moment, you know. Have you noticed that when you are genuinely laughing, you can't really entertain an unhappy thought at the same time? And have you noticed that sometimes we laugh later at things that didn't seem funny at the time when we were going through them? And to me, that stands as a reminder that some of life's hardest, most challenging moments have within them elements of absurdity. And the healing sometimes begins in those moments when we can see that. Now, the topic today is the spectrum of joy, reminding us that joy is a range of experiences and expressions, from the light and the easy and the funny, all the way to the courageous and the revolutionary. Sometimes the expression of joy is a quiet act of resistance to despair. Sometimes it's a gentle reminder in our souls that we are enough and that we were made to live and express. This week marks the beginning of Pride Month, and I'm sure you know that the word gay originally had nothing to do with sexuality. It meant joyful and carefree or full of life. It was a word to describe exuberance and brightness and delight. It came from the Old French and somehow got into English and was used in expressions like a gay old time or a gay mood. And then over time, the word took on additional meaning. And in the early 20th century, gay communities began using the word as a kind of self-identification, a self-description, and used sometimes in a discreet, even playful way to signify, to signal identity and belonging. And it was also used as an act of resistance to discrimination. Now, interestingly, the earlier meaning of the word didn't entirely disappear. Even now, when someone says gay pride, there is still a resonance of the meaning of joy in it, celebration. The freedom to live with open-hearted authenticity. I was thinking about that, the joy of pride, the joy of living, how it can be both an affirmation and a celebration of life, and how also it can be a form of resistance against shame, against silence, against exclusion. My joy cannot be extinguished. Going back now to what Mr. Rogers is thought to have said about people wanting to know that they are enough, I thought, practicing joy could mean doing more of the things that remind me and others that we are enough. So it might be quiet, like watching the sunrise silently with someone you care about. It might be subtle, like witnessing that moment when a child finally figures something out and their eyes light up. It might be peaceful, like patiently tending to a plant and watching it grow. Or it could be the whole range of singing and dancing and clapping. Whatever way joy is meaningful to you, I encourage you this week to do something that reconnects you with your heart of joy. You could do it as an act of resistance against sadness and despair. You could do it as a quiet act of restoring your soul. You could do it as an act of defiance in the face of discrimination or hate. You could do something joyful to remind yourself that you are enough because you have joy in you. You could do something to help bring the divine more into full view in your life. Today in this message, I'm describing and trying to explore a broader range of what joy is. Joy as that which arises in the presence of the divine, that which is a natural outgrowth of living a spiritual life, that which is a quality of mind that delights in the happiness of others, that which is an inner sign of our unity with the creative power of life, that which can be a resource for surviving rough times, that which is a tool to restore our souls, that which is a source of resilience and a way to reclaim our wholeness and to express our courage, that which is an appreciation of the ridiculous, and that which is a healthy spiritual practice. And there remains an important aspect of joy that we cannot neglect. Uncaused joy. Joy that is not the result of anything. Joy that is, simply put, the nature of who you are. Think of it as independent joy, not related to anything else. A state of being that exists within you as a place of stillness and knowing. It's like the complement to outer joy. Outer joy is caused beautifully by moments of pleasure, like when we are reconnected with friends that we love, or when we enjoy a good movie or meal, or watch a sunset with a friend. Uncaused joy is present whether those events exist or not. Uncaused joy is our spiritual identity. Now, it can become overlaid with stress and history and hurts and experiences in the same way that a cloudy day hides the backdrop of a beautiful, clear sky. Spiritual living, then, is the practice of knowing that you are the clear blue sky. It's understanding that we don't have to create that blue sky. We just are it. It's confidently knowing that that joy is available no matter what is going on. Even, as we've heard today, in the presence of oppression, of grief, of stress, of struggle. It is the living spirit within. Now, as we close today, I want to offer you the quote that we started with in the beginning from Dr. Holmes, and then follow up with a question for reflection. First, the quote. It should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and to express freedom, because this is the way to be in accord with the spirit of life itself. And now the question. Where in your life is joy quietly waiting to be noticed? And what would it be like for you to let that joy have a more prominent place in your life and guide you and soften you and restore you to the full knowledge of your spiritual nature? Now, I have some affirmations that are a useful guide for navigating this week as we think about joy. And I have printed them out on a handout there. So after the service today, I will be at the Statue of Saraswati, where you can pick it up. And for those people online who have contacted me, if you would like it, reach out to me at edward@cslsr.org, and I'll email it to you, okay? So let us practice together with these affirmations by breathing in and exhaling. Recognizing that there is one life that is being lived through me and through each one of us, I speak this word, harmonizing with the creative power of life and all that it is. Imagining that it, through me and through us, is announcing these ideas. Joy is the inner evidence of my unity with the creative power of life. I allow this joy to arise as a natural outgrowth of my spirituality. The presence of joy in me is a sign that the divine is at work always. I cultivate mindfully a quality of mind that takes delight in the happiness of others. Joy is my spiritual resource in difficult times. I turn to this center of joy within me as a way to restore my soul and renew my strength. I meet life's absurdities with humor, dignity, and grace. I see joy as a tool of resilience and a path back to my center. I realize that I am free to play and to be lighthearted without losing reverence for life. My sense of humor is a sacred gift that preserves and expresses my wholeness. And so I practice looking for what is delightful and ridiculous in the world. I am remembering that joy can also be quiet, and that it can be an act of resistance and an antidote to despair. I make room for joy. I make room for happiness. I embrace uncaused joy, the joy that simply is, because I am. The stillness within me holds a deep well of joy that is always available. So I affirm, my joy is not dependent on circumstances. It is my essential nature. I live in the awareness that I am the clear blue sky, no matter what clouds may be. And I remember to express my joy as a way of remembering that I am enough. And so it is. I invite you to take a breath in with me and to exhale as we move into that part of our service where we support our center with our financial gifts. I invite the ushers to stand as you prepare your gift, and perhaps place your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection to your center and say after me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Oh, Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. And teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Take it, guys. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice, Spirit.
Thank you for all the gifts that you share with us, and thanks again to our wonderful band. Okay. Your thoughts are more powerful than you might realize. In Mental Equivalence, which starts this Tuesday, June 3rd, Reverend Sciotta is going to guide you through the deep connection between what you imagine and what you experience. Every possibility begins as a mental blueprint, and this course teaches you how to draw that blueprint with clarity and intention using spiritual principles. So through the lens of the science of mind, what you're going to learn is how to define your desires, focus your attention, and then align your consciousness with what it is that you want to create. So if you're ready to move beyond limiting beliefs and step into a more fulfilling way, maybe let's say a more joyful way of living, then this class offers you the tools to get there. And we have scholarships available for that class. So your next chapter, I know, starts with a new mental picture. Have you ever had a moment where it felt like your mind was on fire? Maybe it was filled with a bunch of cats that were all running around joyfully, causing your mind to just, not be able to focus and create stress and, in my case, sometimes explode. Well, I have the solution for you. In calming your anxious mind, we're going to meet those anxious parts of us that cause that anxiety and that electric stress response in our body, and we're going to meet them with curiosity and compassion. And we'll learn what we can do to help them to feel safe, to soothe them, to even help them to feel joy as opposed to anxiety. So you'll also be introduced to some body and breathwork techniques that can help to support your nervous system anytime that it might be, acting out of control, as mine sometimes does. So you can come and chat with me after service about that workshop, about Reverend Sciotta's class. The workshop begins on June 22nd. And as I mentioned, Reverend Sciotta's class is just this Tuesday, so make sure you sign up today if you'd like to join her. Okay, so our center is hosting a screening on Sunday, June 8, which is this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. of a film called Roots in My Garden, a story by our very own Joe Lauer. And we have a trailer for that movie that we would like to show you now, so you have an idea of what it's all about.
So my partner and I had been in a relationship for about 5 years. And decided that we wanted to have a child, and went to a sperm bank. Our daughter was born then, and we were really thrilled and happy for about 5 years. And then the relationship started to get challenged.
Back then, the definition, and this is in the Uniform Parentage Act, is you had to be a biological relationship to that child or a natural relationship, whatever that's supposed to mean, by the way. You didn't have any legal relationship to the child. This was before you could become a registered domestic partner, and it was before you could adopt a child, and it was certainly before lesbian and gay marriage.
In 1992, my heart broke and I felt sick to my stomach as I witnessed a child being torn away from her mother.
Are you okay?
I was just thinking about the last time I saw Mama Marge. The very last time.
I wrote this story to offer a better ending, a glimmer of hope.
Thank you, Jeff, for playing that. So this movie, it's very timely, and it's going to be right here in the sanctuary. There will be a question and answer afterwards, too. And as I mentioned, that's from our very own Joe Lauer, so you can find tickets for that on our website. Every Sunday, our youth and family ministry creates space where curiosity, creativity, and kindness grow. So if you have children or grandchildren, nieces or nephews or teens in your life, bring them here so that they can experience and see that light within them, that joy within them, and then help to lift it higher. Well, you can learn more about that from our Youth and Family Director, Jennifer Caldwell. I don't think she's here today, but you can send an email to youth@cslsr.org, and we have more information about our youth program on our website. Now, I have to say, we had such a wonderful time at our Pride booth in Santa Rosa yesterday, but that's not the only Pride event that we have for you, because this June, for the first time, we're expanding to the Windsor Pride event that is happening on Saturday, June 21st. So you can come and share your support with us at that booth. If you would like to volunteer as well, you can talk to Linda Han after service. She'll be out in the social hall. I know that she would love to have some additional volunteers to help out with that. And we'll have a raffle too, so you can perhaps win some fun prizes from our bookstore. Okay, now I invite you to join us for an evening of meaning, community, and celebration at our Juneteenth Summer Solstice Potluck and Service. And that's on Wednesday, June 18, and we're going to come together to honor the power of freedom, strength, and resilience, and also honor the light of the season. And our trustees, Lawrence Edwards and Olivia Kinsler, are going to share their insights on Juneteenth and why its message of liberation and unity matters to everyone. So you can bring your favorite dish and bring your open heart. And sign up at our info desk. If you would like to bring some goodies to share, you can also sign up on our website. Now, I keep hearing about how much fun people have been having with Astra Fox every month at her Joyful Frequency Song Circle. Yeah, I'm still hearing about it. So that is coming up this Thursday. It's the first Thursday of every month, and music is such an inspiring way to share spiritual practice with your friends. So that will be out in the social hall at 5:30 p.m. right here at the center, and you can bring your voice to add to her joyful harmonies. Now, I have a question for you. Have you heard what's happening on Sunday, June 29th? Oh, I heard Karen Drucker. Okay. Well, if you haven't heard, make sure you mark your calendar, because we are hosting one special all-community service that combines our 9 a.m., this service, and our 11 a.m. services into one celebration that happens when? 10 a.m. Yes, you got it. And we've got musical guests coming. Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, Christopher Fritchie is going to be leading our center choir. So you won't want to miss this. It's going to be incredible. And after service, we're going to be serving some light breakfast, snacks, and coffee. So come enjoy the service, spend time with your friends, and share in community with us. We're so excited. Okay. Now, last month, our nonprofit partner was Our Village Closet, and they're collecting donations. So if you're here in the sanctuary, once you get into the social hall, you'll see a tree that has little items, little tags hanging on it. So if you grab one of those, that is a donation that you can then bring back next Sunday to help support them. So if you'd like to do that, check out the tree. And before I close, I have a couple of invitations for you. I want to invite you to come explore vulnerability with me at our Wednesday evening service this week. We're going to be talking about spiritual practice and how those spiritual practices can help us to be more open-hearted, including approaching some of the challenges that come with living a more open-hearted life. So I look forward to seeing you there. And this coming Saturday, we're going to be doing our next Spirit Walk, and we're going to be doing that at Riverfront Regional Park at 9 a.m. You can sign up for that on our website. to join me and join your friends for a nice walk around the lake. Okay, so have a great week, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Reverend Russ. I've been holding my phone tightly because I'm getting live updates from our team, and I wanted to show you that this is the pictures. This is of Jerry Huffaker. Nancy Reynolds is there sending us pictures. Jose Mesa is there, and Wayne. So many people, I can't even remember their names. They're at Pacifica. There's a rest stop there on their way to Santa Cruz, so it's really exciting to watch them make the journey down there, and I'll let them know that we applauded them and sent them well wishes. If you would like some spiritual support for any reason you can think of, don't go home today without going to get some. Go to the corner in that direction, check in with the host, and she will connect you with a prayer practitioner who is on duty right now to custom make a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer for you. Don't go home without taking advantage of that. And if you're online, you can do the same thing by visiting our website and find the link there for our Zoom prayer that is available directly after service and only directly after service. It's a beautiful opportunity to get into a private Zoom room with a prayer practitioner who will do the same thing for you there. And now won't you please stand as you are able and say, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you for being here. See you again soon. Let's close in song.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up, and peace is every step. Yeah, peace is every step. Peace is every step.